Hey, what's going on everybody? It's your boy Tyshawn, aka coldlabz on social media. So in the last video, we made something similar to a stopwatch. It had the ability to start, stop, and reset. But in this video, we're about to get ready to start making this video game, so we need to set up the environment. So why do we need a live server? The live server is going to allow us to actually edit and create the video game in live time versus hitting the F5 over and over. Not only that, you'll be able to actually use it while you're on your desktop and not on the internet. And what if you want to use it offline or publish it to the Google Play Store or iOS? Besides, we don't want to keep using JSBN. Let's put this on our desktop in the event that something goes wrong. For those of you that want to use Visual Studio Code for your server, just skip to the middle of the video and we're going to continue from there. In the beginning of the course, I mentioned that we're going to use Visual Studio Code, but we're going to use that plus brackets in the event that you can't get it to work, alright? Alright, so the first thing I'm going to need you to do is go to your browser. Alright, now that the browser is up, type in brackets.io and hit enter. Now that the page is loaded, let's go down a little bit and let's click on download brackets. At this point, you might just want to pause the video until it's completely installed. Alright, now that brackets is downloaded, let's go ahead and find it on our computer and open it up. When brackets first loads up for its first time, it's going to show you a blank index.html page. That's a good thing because we're going to be needing that in order to actually create our video games. If you take your mouse and you go on to the right hand side, you see this thunder symbol. When you click on it, it's going to show you a live preview of what's going on inside that browser. So let's click on that thunderbolt. And once that loads up, let's bring the window to the side and then let's go over to where it says getting started with brackets. It's going to be right here inside of this H1 element. Try deleting it and watch how it updates in live time. That's going to be the same way with your video game. So if you go over to where you see the yellow thunderbolt, then go down just a little bit and click on extension manager, you're going to have a whole lot of things you can add on to make your brackets even more usable. One of the features that I use is the auto save files on window blur. What that does is, say for example, you click between a browser or you go right back to brackets or you click on anything other than brackets, it's going to automatically save your files, and that's a good thing because if you forget to save your file, all the hard work you put into making your video game or whatever you're developing goes away. There's been plenty of times where I didn't save my work and I've been working for hours and hours on end, and now I get tired and I wake up, a blackout, something occurs, the power resets, or there's an update to the computer and now I'm screwed. So you don't want that. But another extension I like to use is called Bootstrap Skeleton. What the Bootstrap Skeleton does is give a quick outline of the HTML that we need to use for our code. So in order to use this Bootstrap outline, let's go to edit real quick. If you scroll to the bottom, then click that arrow, you notice it says new Bootstrap document. When you click that, it gives you an entire template. And all we gotta do is change a few lines and we can use that for the code right away. For those of you that's going to be using Visual Studio Code, all you need to do is go to your file explorer, look for your download section, and then look in there. You're going to be seeing Visual Studio Code user setup already in there. Mine says VS Code user setup. When you double click on that, you're going to get it to get installed. But for those who can't find it, let's go back to Google. Let's bring a browser back up. Let's go to Google. Let's type in Visual Studio Code, hit enter. Scroll down a little bit and then you'll see the word that says download. Click on that. It's going to take you to the website to download the actual Visual Studio Code once more. Once you get on there, you need to go down to the actual device that you're using. For me, I'm going with Windows once again. At this point, you might want to pause the video until you get it installed and everything. Seeing that we have everything installed now, such as brackets and Visual Studio Code, we need to make a folder where we can store our first video game. So let's go to our desktop, right click, let's look for the word new. In that area you see the word folder, so we click on folder and we name this game 1 because this is where we're going to store our first game. If you're using brackets, let's go ahead and open that up real quick. Once brackets loads up, I'm going to need you guys to go over to your left hand corner where it says file, and then go down to where it says open folder and select the name game 1. It should be on your desktop, so let's go to the left hand side. Let's click desktop to verify we see game 1. Now double click on that, and that's going to be the folder that we're working inside. For the very first thing I'm going to need you guys to create, let's make a file and call it index.html. For those of you that's using Visual Studio Code, let's go ahead and bring that up real quick. Once Visual Studio Code loads up, you got a few ways of actually opening up that same folder like we did in brackets. So you go up to where it says file, you go down a little bit to where it says open folder, and then we select desktop, and after that look for game 1, and now we're in the same folder. The secondary option is to click on where you see the double sheets of paper, and then you can go ahead from there and open up your actual folder that you want to get to. Seeing that we're on Visual Studio Code, we have a small dilemma, and that issue is it doesn't have a lot of server built right into it just like brackets did. So we got to actually go to the extensions and search for it. So in order to find your extensions, you go to right here which shows the 4 blocks. After that, you search the extensions where it says market. So if you go up to where it shows extensions in marketplace, type in live server. Look for the one that has like the purple and pink brackets on the outside of it. If you go to the bottom of this and click on go live, it's going to bring up a web page showing a live server so you can see your work in action. Another thing I'm going to need you to do is go up to where it says extension, type in auto close tag, and if you go over to your right hand side, which I did mention the first time, you click on install, and then you're going to actually be able to use it when you need it. And the last extension I'm going to need you to get is save typing. So let's go back to extensions, let's type in save typing. When it pops up, click there, and then let's install that. What this does is auto save every time you type a brand new letter, or you go to hit enter, or you hit space. It's going to be real crucial to have your stuff saved in the event that something bad happens. So if you're using brackets, you can actually go to your left hand side and it says new file, create a brand new file and call it index.html. But if you're using Visual Studio Code, you can do the same thing. But you need to click on where it says explore or these double sheets of paper. Click there, go down a little bit, right click and do new file. Name it index.html. Alright, so let's go back on the actual side where you have to type. Let's type the word this, exclamation point, doc type, HTML, caps, close. So under that, write HTML and then close it off with HTML. Inside of that, you need to make a head and a body, just like a person. Inside of the head, you need to put title, because the title is going to be what populates in the actual bar on top of the page. So this title, let's put game 1, and inside the body, put a paragraph and write the word hello. And when you click on the live server for brackets, that page is going to pop up right away. You're going to see it in action. So let's try that out real quick. And as you go back inside of where it says P, it updates along with you. But if you're using Visual Studio Code, you go down to where it says go live, and then you can see your actions actually update as well. So let's wrap this up. In the beginning, we talked about downloading the necessary tools in order to get this server running so we can make our video game. We navigated brackets and Visual Studio Code, added features and plugins in order to make the software more usable, and now at this point we're just about ready to go to start creating this video game. Hopefully you guys will be ready to get this done in the next video. See you around.